Okay, here we go. Welcome to everyone who took the time out of their day to come join us. This is Robin with Singles Travel International. I have Vicki with us. She is our Sicily tour guide and our Italy specialist, also a concierge with Singles Travel. You may have met her if you've traveled with us in the recent past. We are here today to share our love for Italy and Tuscany and Sicily especially. So I'm going to introduce you to Vicki.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, like Robin said, thank you for taking the time out of your evening to listen to me talk a little bit about Italy. Italy is a place that is very, very dear to my heart for no other reason other than, actually, I have no idea. I fell in love with it about 10 years ago. I have traveled from the north to the south, and I really am looking forward to sharing my love of Italy with you. So we have, STI has two wonderful tours this fall. One is, let me go back to that slide. The Tuscan countryside, including Florence and Rome. It's September 15th through the 23rd of this year. And then the next is Savor Sicily Culinary Tour from October 28th to November 5th this year. Definitely, a lot of people have been to Italy. Most people who have been to Italy have been to Tuscany. It's a bucket list item for so many people. Not as many people have been to Sicily. So, I'm here to just tell you how they might be similar, how they differ. If you've been to Tuscany before, Sicily is a wonderful place. So it might not be on anyone's bucket list, but hopefully after this webinar, it will be on your bucket list. So first, I would love to just talk about the Tuscany tour. So Tuscany this picture is just quintessential Tuscany. The rolling green hills, the cypress trees, vineyards everywhere, and in September it is the best time of year to go to Tuscany. It is typically the harvest of the grapes, so you may be able to see, driving through the countryside, the vineyards, the picking the grapes and harvesting the grapes. The colors are magnificent that time of year. So on this tour, we began in Rome. Rome is, the capital of Italy, the center of in ancient times, the Roman Empire. From Julius Caesar to, present day, Rome just embodies everything that Italy stands for. It has stood for thousands of years. We'll spend 3 days in Rome, in the heart of the city. I feel like you cannot go to Italy without going to Rome. It really is a must see. So I'm so glad that on this trip, it starts in Rome and then continues up to Tuscany and then to Florence. While you're in Rome, with a local expert guide, you'll visit the Roman Forum, which is part of what you're seeing right now in front of you. You'll visit the Colosseum, which is simply breathtaking when you walk into the Colosseum and you just think about the gladiator fights that went on there. You learn about the history that they used to fill the Colosseum with water to have naval battles. It was created by the emperor as a show of wealth and to keep the people happy. It really is magnificent. You'll go to the Piazza Navona, the Pantheon, the Piazza di Spagna, which has the Spanish Steps. So on this walking tour, you'll see the true highlights of Rome with a local expert guide, which is, there's no sense in going to Rome or to Florence or to any of these historic cities and not have a licensed guide with you to tell you the history. Otherwise, you're walking around, without a clue at what you're looking at, and you'd be missing out on so much. There'll be plenty of time during the tour to stop, have an espresso, stop for lunch on your own, have a gelato. You'll make your way also to the Trevi Fountain. These are some more pictures of the Roman Forum, which was the seat of the government in ancient times. Here as well, you'll see the place where they had the funeral pyre for Julius Caesar. It truly is amazing to be standing in this location where there are everything you learned about in history as a child. Beautiful Piazza Navona, where there are fountains by Botticelli, and a great gelato shop right around the corner from there. Here's the gorgeous Trevi Fountain, and if not the myth, but the saying goes that if you turn your back to the fountain, throw a coin over your right shoulder, it ensures that you'll return to Rome again. So we have to make sure to do that while we're there. Another interesting fact about the Trevi Fountain is that the water still comes from the ancient aqueducts from the mountains and ends there at the Trevi Fountain. So, Rome, it's still, the ancient history still lives today, and you can see it as you walk around the city. On the next day, we'll visit a very, another must-see when you're in Rome. So what I tell people if they go to Rome, there are two things you can't miss. One is the Colosseum Roman Forum, and the other is the Vatican museums, which includes the Sistine Chapel and then also St. Peter's Basilica. When you enter the Vatican, you're entering Vatican City, which is another country. So one of the smallest countries in the world, if not the smallest. That's one piece of information I don't know. But again, with a private guide, you'll visit the gorgeous, the Vatican with the magnificent museums inside, just filled with treasures, art treasures, tapestries, sculpture, paintings. It's truly breathtaking and overwhelming. So after Rome, then we continue on to our gorgeous villa in the Tuscany countryside. It's in the heart of Tuscany, close to Florence, kind of between Florence and Siena. And we will spend, I believe, 3 nights at the villa. From there, we'll explore Siena and Florence. Right here is a picture of the Cathedral of Siena, an amazing architectural feat, if you would. Of course, when you're in Tuscany, you're in the heart of wine country. So I'm sure you'll have your share of wonderful Chianti wine. Maybe those were the Sangiovese grapes that Chianti is made from. Sorry, I went back the wrong way. Again, September is the perfect time to visit Tuscany. The weather's warm. In fact, it's gorgeous. The grapes, again, you may be able to see them being harvested, and the crowds have diminished. Summer really isn't the time to go to Tuscany, really to go anywhere in Europe. There's so many people. The school kids are there in September. It's just lovely, lovely, lovely. From the villa, there are plenty of things to do at the villa. So we'll have a free day one morning, and then an optional cooking class in the afternoon. And all of this will take place the villa. From the villa, if you decide in the morning, you want to do a bike ride, lounge at the spa, there are plenty of things to do. But why not try your hand, with the local chef at cooking up maybe some Tuscan specialties, if not definitely Italian specialties. We'll also have a private guided walking tour of Siena, which will include entrance to the spectacular cathedral. Here you can see it's famous for the green and white, I believe it's marble, spectacular inside. Built, I think, in the 12th, 13th century. Absolutely gorgeous. Siena is also famous for the Palio horse race. Siena is divided up into different neighborhoods back from ancient times. And these neighborhoods still today, they compete under their neighborhood flag on horses, and they go around. You can see this is like Piazza Navona, an old, sorry, the word isn't coming to me right now, but like a circular route that the horses run around. I haven't seen it myself. I've seen videos. Quite a feat here and endurance for these horses. And this piazza is filled, the Piazza del Campo, filled with people. It's the main hub of activity in Siena. There are restaurants around. Of course, you'll also have plenty of free time to visit the beautiful city. If you like to shop, of course, shopping is, a pastime for many people. Leather goods. Also leather goods, Florence is really well known for leather goods and for the markets. And that will be our next stop. 2 nights, we'll end the Tuscany tour. 2 nights in Florence, the birthplace of the Renaissance. So here, it's like walking in Florence. It's like walking in an outdoor museum. Everywhere you look, there are these stunning pieces of architecture. Here in this picture is the Duomo of Florence, with the baptistry in the foreground. And then on the right is a copy of Michelangelo's David that is in front. It's in the Piazza della Signoria, and it's in front of the Uffizi Museum. The real David, Michelangelo's real David, is in the Accademia Gallery, which we will go to with our private licensed guide. We'll go there. We can view Michelangelo's David, and then from there we have skip the line tickets, which is a big thing because people can stand in line for hours to get in. So pre-arranged tickets, no wait in line. With our guide, we'll also visit 2 important piazzas, the Piazza della Repubblica and the Piazza della Signoria. And also, if there's time, we'll go to the Ponte Vecchio, which is the famous bridge today filled with gold shops. So if you are looking for gold, that is the place to go. If you're looking for leather, we'll have free time later that afternoon. There are magnificent markets where you can haggle for leather jackets, leather shoes, all handmade, belts, pretty much anything, beautiful scarves, handmade. So Florence really is a shopper's paradise. So we'll have a free afternoon, and then the last day in Florence is completely free to do whatever you want. Go back and discover some of the sites you missed. If you want to go to the Uffizi Gallery, your concierge will be able to help you get tickets to that. Again, skip the line tickets, it's necessary. So if that's of interest to you, let your concierge know that that's something you want to do. You may want to sit in a cafe and have an espresso, a cappuccino, and watch the world go by. So it really is, it's a relaxing vacation. There's time to explore and see things with your guide, and also free time to go off and do whatever you'd like to do. Again, even if that's sitting at a cafe and enjoying people watching. Um,
Thank
so
you.
that,
I just want to interject a couple of things here. This is Robin again.
yes.
Fantastic. Sounds so great. This Tuscany tour we have done for several years. This year it's a little bit different. We always take the feedback of our past travelers and we make the changes every year. And we've been hearing for a couple of years that they wanted to spend more time in Rome. So we've split the tour so there is more time in Rome. It used to be one night in Rome on the front end and one night in Rome on the back end. So there was very little time to explore Rome. Although we know Rome, you need like 2 months to see everything, but this definitely adds the extra time in Rome to get a few more things off your bucket list there, as well as spending a wonderful amount of time in this Tuscan villa, which is very gorgeous and large and very, I won't say rustic, but it's not fancy, but it is very large and very old. So it's a really unique opportunity for you to really stay right in the heart of Tuscany. And we have Italian speaking guides for both of these tours. So you don't have to worry about the language barrier, or you can always brush up on your Italy before you go on your Italian, but Vicky will take care of you in Sicily with her beautiful use of the language.
Thank you, Robin. But I think that's wonderful that a day was added to Rome, because like you said, you could spend a month, 2 months there, but 3 days, there's so much to see, and you also want to give yourself time to just go off and explore on your own. So that's fantastic. Okay, so now I'd like to move on to Savor Sicily culinary tour. Now, again, I've been to Sicily. Sicily is my favorite part of Italy, my favorite part. And I've had over the years so many people say to me, well, isn't the mafia there? Isn't it scary? I have to tell you this, that it is safe, it is beautiful. You will not meet warmer, kinder people than in Sicily. A stranger would welcome you into their home, feed you dinner. It is just such a gorgeous, lovely, I fell in love with it when I went the first time, and that was after going to mainland Italy for several years. So it's Sicily. If you've ever thought about Sicily, I am here to let you know, don't hesitate. It is worth your while. There is so much history there. So, whether you're a history buff, whether wine, Sicily is actually the largest producer of wine in Italy. Not many people know that. If you like just gorgeous scenery, it has the rolling hills that Tuscany has. It's volcanic. So on the eastern part, of course, there's Mount Etna, which I'll get to a little bit later. But it's varied. Its topography is varied, but the ocean just plays such a key part in everything, in the livelihood of many of the people, and also in the food. But going back to the history of Sicily, Sicily is really a melting pot of civilizations. The Phoenicians, Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, Arabs, Normans, French, German, Spanish, Italian, even British have occupied Sicily. So you will see there those influences from those different cultures in the food, in the architecture, even in the faces of the people. A lot of Sicilians have blue eyes and a reddish tinge to their hair from the time that the Normans were there. So it's really interesting, and you'll see couscous a lot on the menus, especially when you're in the western part of the island. So on this tour, we start out in Palermo, which is the capital of Sicily. So here is just to give you an idea, because some people don't even know where Sicily is. So Sicily is off the toe of the boot of Italy. You can see it down there on the left, the green island. It's the largest island in the Mediterranean. It looks like Sardinia is larger, but that's just this map. And so then if you look on the right, you can see the island up close. So we will start in Palermo, which is in sort of the northwestern part of the island, but on the north, on the Tyrrhenian Sea. And then we'll make our way, we'll spend 3 nights there. We'll go, if you go south, you'll see Agrigento. We'll go to Agrigento to visit an amazing UNESCO World Heritage Site called the Valley of the Temples. I really believe you can't go to Sicily without going there. So we'll go there, have a stop in a private tour before continuing on to our next stop, which is Ortigia. But Ortigia, if you see the flamingo, and there's the town Syracuse or Siracusa, Ortigia is a little island right off of Siracusa, and it is technically part of Siracusa, and you can drive over. You know, it's connected to the land by a bridge. After Siracusa or Ortigia, where we'll spend 2 nights, we'll head north to Taormina. And Taormina is on the Ionian Sea, just like Syracuse. It is in the shadow of Mount Etna, and Taormina is really a beautiful little resort town, gorgeous. So again, we're starting in Palermo, the capital of Sicily. Sicily is an autonomous region of Italy, meaning it has its own government, but it is part of Italy. Palermo this year, 2018, is the capital of culture. This city is 2,700 years old. It is alive with history. It was chosen as the capital of culture, not just for the artistic things, but also its food, its heritage. It really has a culture of welcoming. Even from the time of the Normans, the Norman kings were Catholic, and they allowed one of the main cathedrals, which we will go to, the Monreale, which is another UNESCO site, to be built with Muslim workers, and they put Islamic symbols inside this Catholic church. So anyways, there are a lot of events going on in Palermo, even while we'll be there for the celebration of the capital of culture. Here you see here the Cathedral of Palermo, which on our first day we'll arrive, we'll get settled. It's the second day. We're going to have a really fun foodie walking tour. So this tour is with a Palermitano. He's wonderful. He's a licensed guide. He is going to teach us about the street food of Palermo, and also tell us about the history of the city at the same time. So you're going to try some foods you may have never heard of. You may not want to try some of the foods, but I guarantee you'll have a wonderful time. And we'll end up at that Cathedral of Palermo, which you just saw. Here is just a gorgeous little street in Palermo. Palermo is a city, so you'll see some graffiti somewhere, but it is alive. It's a city that really is alive and welcoming. So we're going to spend 3 nights, like I said, in a really nice small hotel, 4-star hotel in the center of town. We're going to have that foodie walking tour. We're also, with a private licensed guide, going to this magnificent cathedral, the Cathedral of Monreale. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's one of the largest and most beautiful displays of mosaic artwork in the world. The Hagia Sophia in Istanbul doesn't have the mosaics that this have. When you get in there and you see everything you see is mosaic, gold leaf, the layer upon layer, which will be explained to you by our guide, glass, and then gold. It is truly breathtaking. I'm kind of going back and forth here, but on our foodie walking tour, we'll definitely go to one of the lively markets of Palermo. You'll see, look at these gorgeous colors, where the fishmongers and the farmers want you to sample their wares. Just look at these colors, everything. As Sicily, its main two main um, exports, if you would, it's agriculture and tourism. Those are the two main industries. So many things. You will see fields and fields and fields and fields of vegetables, fruits, olives. I mean, the olive trees for miles and miles. Another thing in October, it is the olive harvest. Late October, early November, typically the olive harvest. So we may get a chance to see olives being harvested. It truly is in October such a nice time of year because it's farther south. You know, it is very close to Tunisia, Sicily. The weather stays warmer later. You may be able to, even when we're in Taormina, take a dip in the water. There's a gorgeous small beach in Taormina. So the weather, if you're wondering about what's the weather like late November, it really is wonderful. Still quite warm, great for touring, and not a lot of tourists, which is great. So after our 3 nights in Palermo, like I said, we're going to head to the southern, mid-southern coast to a town of Agrigento, which used to be called Akragas by the Greeks, to a magnificent UNESCO archaeological site, the Valley of the Temples. So here in the foreground is a sculpture by, a modern sculpture by, now I'm forgetting the sculptor's name, but there was an exhibit about 8 years ago, and this was one of the sculptures that remains at the Valley of the Temples. In the back is the Temple of Concordia, 3,000 years old. It has never been reconstructed. It has never fallen. It is the symbol for UNESCO. So if you look at UNESCO, that front, that facade, is the symbol for UNESCO. We'll learn about the proportions of the different temples that are in. There are 7, I believe 7 temples in this gorgeous archaeological site that's in a valley overlooking the ocean. We'll learn about the different proportions, and that from there you'll be able to tell the ages of the temples. There, again, just some of the other sites around. Here on the bottom left, you can see those are old Christian tombs in the wall. It's another, I can't remember which temple this is, but again, another temple that obviously has fallen. So we'll continue on that day to our next stop. We will spend 2 nights in this gorgeous white city, Ortigia. There is white limestone everywhere. You bring your sunglasses. It is gorgeous. This piazza here is considered one of the most beautiful piazzas in all of Italy. We'll be here 2 nights. We're going to have an optional private walking tour of the town, which is very small. This Ortigia is an island, a very small island. You can walk all around it probably in about an hour, surrounded by water. This cathedral here on the left is very important. I believe it's about 2,500 years old. It was first a temple, which you can see on the left here. They left the columns of the temple. When you go in, you can see the columns inside. It was then converted over time to a church. In that same piazza, there's a small church with a Caravaggio painting. So if you're interested in that, you can have a short guided walking tour. Ortigia is another shopping paradise. Tons of restaurants, cafes, shops, very original art shops. We will have a private cooking lesson with the local chef. Of course, we'll only be using fresh local ingredients like the ricotta cheese you see there, made that morning, still warm when we got it. Fresh local ingredients. We will make something Sicilian, so count on that. Sicilian food, I've never had fresher food, I feel like. When I go to Sicily, whether you like seafood, it really is a seafood lover's paradise. Octopus, clams, and the clams there are different. Tuna, really any seafood you like, you can get it there. So we will definitely be making a pasta, probably one antipasto, and possibly a dessert, depending on the time and how hungry we are. But plenty of local wine. This is just a nice street scene of Ortigia, just beauty wherever you look. So we'll have 2 nights in that town with plenty of free time to enjoy and just stroll the streets at night. That piazza with the lights on the church, on the cathedral, it's just breathtaking. Our next stop will be Taormina, again on the northeast coast. Really a resort town. The people go there to relax and to shop. It's kind of a jet set community. They had the G8 there last year. They have a film festival there every year. It's very small. It's way up high. But on the way to Taormina, of course, we're in Sicily. We have to have some wine. We will stop at an award-winning wine estate for a wine tasting lunch. And when I tell you that the food that they make here will rival, I've had people say that the food that we had at the wine tasting lunch was the best they had in any of the restaurants along the way. So it's really not just about the wine here. Here we go. Here's our sommelier telling us about the wine. Just a really nice experience. So here we have beautiful Taormina. Taormina is in the shadow of Etna. You can see Etna way back in the back with snow. When Etna erupts, which is frequently, ash can make it all the way to Taormina. Don't worry if Etna erupts. I've been there before when it erupts. It's a lot of smoke. It is slow. It's a type of a volcano that I don't think it's hit any towns, the lava, in 70 years. It's a type of volcano. You just don't worry. We'll be okay. But Taormina is gorgeous. Like I said, it's set high above the ocean. But if you want to go down to the beach, there's a funicular. It costs about €2. It's about a 5-minute ride. You go down there, you come back up at the end of the day. It really is a beautiful town. It's a nice place to end your vacation. So one of the mornings we're going to have another private cooking lesson. We'll start out at the market, the lively market, with our chef. We'll pick the ingredients. He'll ask us, what do you want to make? What type of fish do you like? And then we'll go back to the restaurant and we will make this. These are actually dishes that we made the last time I was there. Caponata here it's a Sicilian traditional food. You'll find it made in slightly different in different parts of the island, but typically it is eggplant, capers, celery, onions, and it's an agrodolce, which means sweet sour. So they use vinegar and sugar. Definitely the olives. It's delicious. This is the Bay of Mazzaro, just down the funicular. So this is one of the small beaches. You can go out on a little boat like this, a traditional boat. Again, in October, you may still want to swim. Taormina also has a Greek theater, so that's something else of historic interest if you'd like to visit that. It's not just about the shopping, which is fabulous. You can go and spend some time here. They have concerts, not typically in the fall, but in the summer they have concerts. I think Botticelli has even come to this theater for concerts. Our last full day in Taormina is completely free because, again, it is a place for relaxation. It's a place for relaxation. So we will have 2 optional excursions. One is an Etna tour with wine tasting lunch. So the van would come and pick you up, bring you to the volcano, from Taormina to the you can't go to the very, very top, but to the highest point that cars can go. It probably takes about an hour and a half. And on the way back down, you'll stop at a vineyard on the slopes of the volcano. The wine here is very different from other parts of Sicily because of the volcanic soil. So you can really taste the minerality, and of course the sommelier will tell you about that. Another excursion, which would be weather dependent, would be, oh, look, here's some shots of Etna. So I've been to Etna before where there's been snow. I mean, there people ski. There's a chairlift. And I've been there before where you can wear shorts. So definitely, if you decide to do that excursion, you look at the weather, you dress for the weather, you dress in layers. The other excursion would be, here's Etna again, a boat tour, a private half-day boat tour around the bays of Taormina. Again, just relaxing. There's wine on board. There would be a light lunch on board. You can go swimming if the weather's good. So, the day really is, oh, my last slide isn't there. The last day is just meant to relax. And then that evening, a grand farewell dinner as a group before we depart, Bella Sicilia. So I know that Robin is going to talk about, there is a special offer right now. But I just want to say that September, October are really the best times to visit Italy. If these places are places you want to go, sign up now. Airfare is less expensive in the fall. Take advantage of the lower prices on airfare. Take advantage of the good weather, the harvest in both of those places. Definitely don't hesitate signing up, and I hope to see you all. So, Robin, I don't know if there are any questions or if there's something I didn't address.
Well, we've got a question for I'm having trouble seeing it. For some reason, it is squished up, so I'm trying to get to it. Okay, Victoria is asking, is there internet, wireless or wired, in the rooms, not just the lobby, at the hotels where we would stay? And how do you determine how many days are on the tour? And which also, I'm going to show you guys the website and show you how to get around these trips and show you the best way to get your information. Also, if you could choose any one of these tours, which one would you choose? And then
well, that's a loaded question because I've already said Sicily is my favorite part of Italy. But let me answer the Wi-Fi question. As for the Tuscany tour, I'm not sure. I have not stayed in those hotels. For the Sicily tour, yes, Wi-Fi is free. It's available, and it also is available in the rooms. There is a caveat. Sometimes things in Italy, all over Italy, don't run exactly as they run in the United States. So there have been times, I don't mean specifically in these hotels in Sicily, that in other hotels, that the Wi-Fi isn't as strong, but you get it. All of the hotels do have Wi-Fi in the room, and it's free. So that answers that. As far as the length of the tour, that is something that STI and the tour operator they take everything into consideration. What's the length of time people want? Some people can only get away for a week. So I would say, I know at least for the Sicily tour, an 8-night. They're both 8-night tours. 8 nights seems to be a length of time that people can typically take from work, because then there's a weekend on either side. Also, a lot of times we offer add-ons so that if you can take more than a week, you can add on that time at the end. But for the people who can't, they're still able to take the tour and they're not missing out on the main part of the tour. So there's a lot that goes into consideration in planning a tour and how many days. Also, you need to think about, for instance, Rome. Rome, you need 3 nights in Rome. You absolutely do. So there are minimums for each place. Ortigia is very small. 2 nights is enough there. So there's a lot that goes in. There's a lot that goes into figuring out how many days. And my choice, because I love Sicily, would be Sicily. And not many people have been there, but Tuscany is fabulous too. So it's really a matter of, you know what I tell people? Do you like ocean scenery or do you like, you know, rolling green hills? Because that really is, as far as scenery goes, the main difference. Palermo's on the water, Ortigia's on the water, Taormina's on the water. So you have 3 spots where you are looking, you have views of the ocean. We're in Tuscany, you don't. Wine is good in both places. So don't worry about that.
Plenty of wine, absolutely. We do know that their Wi-Fi is only available in the lobby in Rome and in Tuscany. So you will be able to take a vacation from your Wi-Fi when you're traveling, but you will have access to it in the lobby areas. Right now we're looking at our Tuscany tour. I just wanted to show you a little bit. I always do this on the calls to make sure you can get around the site. This is the trip for Tuscany, and then you can go here. If you scan through this, you can see the whole tour itself. So you can look at the highlights, and this gives you the highlights of what we offer, what's included in the trip, links to the villa, which is amazing. It's gorgeous. You just can't even believe how beautiful this villa is. And what meals are included right here. We're showing you what meals are included, your time in each area, and how many nights in each space. And then we have the daily itinerary that goes through like this, which you can also get to here. This shows like a play-by-play, but then we go deeply into the itinerary. If you go down a little bit further into the site, you'll see an actual daily thing and what meals are included, like what we show here with breakfast, lunch, dinner. There's breakfast included, dinner included, things like that, so you can get a better idea. But the real questions can be answered in our FAQ tabs. There are plenty of information here for you. What the weather's going to be like, what the penalties are for cancellation. Can you come in early and stay with the group? We always can make extra arrangements. If you've got more time to spend, then we can get you time on either end wherever you'd like to be. No problem. Passports and visa recommendations, how you should schedule your flights, when you need to arrive so you can meet the tour, things like that. And then the options for tours are all here. So if you click on Price My Trip, this is for any trip that we've got. This will take you directly to the options. So we have the Share and Save for $24.49, and then we have the 8-night Tuscan Country, your own room, which is just a little bit more. And then we still have an option here to take $100 off if you're going to take your own space. So that, and then we go down to our options and excursions. Here's the cooking classes for lunch or dinner. And then you just hit complete your purchase, and it will take you through where you fill out your private information and puts you on the trip. So options again over here on the left, it takes you right to where you need to be in the page to take a peek here. So then we're going to take a look at Sicily as well. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'm going to scroll down here to the next one, and we'll go through Sicily for you. This is the first time we've done Sicily, and we're super excited about it. It was the most anticipated tour. People have been asking for a very long time, when are you going to do Sicily? So here it is. We've got it for you. And it's at the beautiful time of year. So good time to get away. Once again, you see this familiar up and down the sides here. Everything you need to know, as well as itinerary. And we'll see. Oh, there's Vicki. There she is. She's our concierge. And you can also see who's going. You can take a look and see who's looked at trip. The trip share is available only if you're booked on any trip. So then once you're booked, we leave that area exclusively for people who are booked. They can chat amongst themselves, talk about flights, options, things they want to do, introduce themselves. So when you arrive, you already have new friends, which we think is great. That's what we're here to do. So again, if you click on Price My Trip, you're going to see, first you're going to choose your accommodations. single or share. Available here, $23.99 to share, $30.49 for your own room. This is the 8-night tour. Air is not included because our people come from everywhere, so you will begin at the destination. And then here's our excursions. We have transfers for you, and then when you arrive in Sicily, Vicki will assist you with the optional tours as the tour progresses. So you don't have to book those in advance, but she will set you up with anything you'd like to do once you arrive. Again, you click complete trip purchase and you're ready to go. So those are our trips in a nutshell. And if you've got questions, let me look one more time over here to see if you've got any questions. Sandra wants to know if there's add-ons for Sicily. Sandra, I hope I answered your question. You will arrange those with Vicki once you arrive. And let's see what else we've got here. If we add on, we buy ourselves. Alan's asking if we add on, we buy ourselves. Alan, the trip does conclude with 8 nights. Anything you do on either end, you would be on your own, unless you arranged with people in the chat to stay, and maybe you all could work out something that you wanted to do before or after the tour and do that together. So where were you flying into for the Sicily trip? Ginny's asking, so we're going to take a look right here. I'm going to show her where to find it.
Yeah, you fly into Palermo and out of Catania. And those open jaw, it does not increase. Over the years, I've done this many, many times. It does not increase the price of the ticket. But, you know, another thing, Robin, I wanted to throw out there is that if enough people expressed an interest in an add-on, that's something that I would think that we could put together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's something that STI could look at, putting together an add-on, I would think in either one of those locations.
Yes, absolutely. And as far as flights go, we also are a full-service travel agency. If you need assistance with flights, you may give us a call after you're booked, and we'll be more than happy to price flights for you, or even before you're booked. We'll take a look at the flights from your departure city and let you know the whole total package price. Not a problem. But that's where you'll find any of these questions will be in your FAQs. And of course, you may always call us at 877-765-6874. And we are here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. And the number is on the site as well up here in the corner. And you can also come over here and just hit the help button and send us a message if you want to. Would rather email us and get your questions answered that way. But we're more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
Great.
Now let's get to let's take a look at the, I'm going to give you the screen again, Vicki, and you can show us what our coupon code is for saving $100 off your trip if you book by the end of this month.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, because I am new to PowerPoint,
it's not there. Okay, no problem.
But it was hashtag Italy.
Hashtag Italy. Perfect. That's easy to remember, everyone, and I'll put it in an email and send it to you as well. And you may also share it with friends. We'd love to have you or any friends going. Share the webinar with people. You're going to get a link to that. If you bring a friend, we'll give you $25 off your trip. They don't have to come on this trip. They can be just someone you refer to Singles Travel, as long as they're new with us. Once they book a trip, you'll get $25. And that's if you send us 10 friends, and we're going to give you 25 times 10. You can do the math. We appreciate your referrals all the time. And if you put the hashtag Italy in our coupon code in the shopping cart of our site when you're booking your trip, you will save $100 if you book by the 31st of May. So I hope we can see some of you come and join us. I hope all of you join us, actually. And I know these two are not next to each other, but we're going to try next year and maybe put the trips right by each other so you guys can stay and do both at the same time, one after the other, one flight, get it done. So right now we just couldn't work it out that way. But I think I'm looking through the questions here one more time. I think we've got everything. Excuse me. Yeah, I think we've got. Okay, Jeannie wants to know what would be the best airline for the Sicily trip. What airline do you like to use, Vicki?
For Sicily, I love to use Lufthansa, just because they have very good service. There is no airline that flies nonstop to Sicily. Meridiana was doing it last year only from JFK, and I just looked recently and I couldn't find it. So no matter what airline you take, you will have one stop. So for instance, if you fly Air France, you'll stop in Paris. If you fly Lufthansa, you're stopping in Munich or Frankfurt. I do love Lufthansa. But again, if you use STI to help you with your airfare, you'll get I think they'll search for the best rate for you with the best connections. So allow at least 2 hours connection time at the airport at your first stop, entry into the EU. But my choice is always Lufthansa.
I love Lufthansa as well. And yes, Jenny, if you were going from Germany, I would definitely take Lufthansa. They'll have the perfect flight for you to get right where you need to be. Anybody else have any more questions? I think I've got them all here. Jenny says, thanks for sharing. Well, thanks for taking the time out of your day to join us, Jenny, and everyone else who's here. We really appreciate your time. And we're going to let you go. And Vicki's got anything else to say before we let you go? Go ahead, Vicki.
No, I just wanted to also say thank you and just say, if you've never been to Italy before, do it because you will not regret it. There is no one I've ever talked to who ever regretted going to Italy. And there's nothing to regret. You get there and you just feel like, So, and again, thank you again for your time. And I hope to see you all in Italy.
Absolutely. And I will send you the link to this webinar if you'd like to watch it again, see these beautiful photos or get any more information. Please call us and we'll get you set up. 877-765-6874. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.